Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. One-click protection for all your devices. Securing yourself couldn't be easier. Visit expressvpn.com/funhouse. Welcome to the Funhaus podcast. Hi, James.
High energy podcast.
Hi, Lindsay. We're here.
We're here. Today is March 16th. It's not, don't tell them. March 16th, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 o'clock-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's officially been 1 year.
Since
you
what?
believe that?
Since what? 1 year since
Since
what?
we started working from home.
Is that right? 1 year since working from home. Well, time's flown.
March 16th was the first day that we all started working from home.
Is it really? The 16th.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all right.
Because the 13th was the last day
Yeah.
in office.
Did you put it on your
'Cause
calendar
we had...
to make like a big deal out of it when we came back or something? And then a year went by and you're like, fucking forget about all of this.
Oh, fuck, I'm wrong. It was the 15th. The 15th was the first day.
Dang it.
Same
Missed it by a
difference.
day. But
Whatever.
still, a year.
Yeah.
It is wild to me. It is wild to me that an entire year has gone by since figuring, like, I can remember being in the office that day that we were kind of like, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? And then they came back like 4 hours later, like, yes, you're never coming back here.
Well, no, that's the thing that's the thing that I think was so wild about it. It was like, all right, well, grab your stuff. We may have to film from home for a month. And I remember thinking, I don't know about that. I'm just kind of like looking around the world going like, I don't know about that. But yeah, yeah.
I was 2 weeks. That's what we said. That's what they were saying to us. Like, the world.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, this is like cool and different.
Yeah.
I mean, not the coronavirus, but the experience of working from home. I was like, okay, like I'm down. And I was like enthusiastic about it. Like, cool. Yeah, we're going to make it work.
Yeah. Well,
And now here we are a year later.
here we are. So a couple things.
My first question is says, where are we at? That's the first question that I
mentally,
wrote.
physically. A couple things. It probably would have never been 2 weeks. That was a very naive perspective.
Yeah.
But again, that was not necessarily us as individuals saying 2 weeks. That was this whole country naively in a lot of ways saying, well, we're just not going to take any action and it'll be fine. But that being said, you know what? We probably could have gotten back to things normal by the end of the summer if people actually did what they were supposed to do and were responsible about it. That's a lot of things we also don't talk about, is that's the case. And then I also, it seems like forever ago, but I, had my birthday's at the beginning of April, and so I had my birthday after that, and I was like, oh, well, hopefully this won't be the case for Elise's birthday, but it's going to be the case for my birthday again this year, and probably Elise's this year too. And I also was supposed to see my parents for the first time in forever. Like that was going to be my birthday thing, was going to see my parents for the first time ever. We were going to meet in Vegas. And then I remember they were like, well, maybe we can still come. And I was like, I've canceled your trip. I'm not going to give you the option. I'm not going to give you the option to do it. And it ended up being the case. I mean, they've taken it very seriously, but it ended up being the case that the thing that we were going to do anyway was canceled. And so, but yeah, it is weird to think about. And without getting too ahead of the conversation, I am very grateful for the fact that I was able to keep working during this time, but also I think it happened for me at a time in my life where it's like, if we just write off this year, it's fine. I feel really bad when I think about like teenagers, probably more so than anything, like a lot of the kids who are like graduating that year and like their senior year, like these are like huge, when I think like pivotal memory moments.
Life milestones.
What's that?
Life milestones.
For sure. Yeah. And so I really think it sucks because I will think back, that lost year and a half or that lost amount of time or whatever. And that kind of sucked, but I lived through it. There's a lot of people who are like, there's nothing I can do to replace the fact that I will have never gotten a prom or whatever, it's small potatoes to the people that lost their lives and family members and lost loved one and stuff like that. But it is for those that have to move on and look back on their lives and the impact it made. So
I don't know. Like I think about that stuff too. Like definitely the kids coming out of high school, their life got disrupted for sure. But there's like a middle ground where you still got so much ahead of you that it doesn't really matter that you lost a year and a half of whatever, of like becoming whoever you were going to be. But like there are people who are older. I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm not too old. I still got lots of life ahead of me. Like that's not what I'm saying. But like I'm 38, single. I'm losing like basically a year of trying to figure out like finding a partner or whatever, you know, like all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be like 40 something by the time like the life things start to happen in a real way again. Because you'd like
they took
people
away the remainder of your 30s.
Yeah, like the remainder of my 30s. Like I never used to think that I was that far behind like developmentally of like where I'm supposed to be as an adult. But then this last like year has happened and I'm just like, oh, well, you know, I lost a year of meeting people, finding a partner, finding somebody to like settle down with, maybe like, you know, I've never intended to have kids, but maybe have kids or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just feels, the longer this goes, the more pushed back that gets and the unrealistic it becomes.
Let me throw two things out to you real quick. Number one, everyone's story is different. You never have to compare yourself to any sort of traditional standard in any way. Number two, there is a scenario, a hypothetical scenario where everything just went normal and you didn't feel like you don't feel that creep up when it's every day, when it's just your life going in and out, right? You feel like you've lost it. A lot of people are going to be coming out of this feeling like they lost it and ready to bone like rabbits. Like there's going to be a chaos. It's going to be like this when World War II ended and everyone came home and then we had the boomers. There's going to be a whole new phase of just like romance, the chaos of romance. Are we going to have
another baby boom? Is there going to be another baby boom after all this?
Yeah, well, that's what they were saying. Like that would be taking place between like November and now, and like the rest of this year is all people in quarantine who are like, what do we do? Just make babies.
I thought that was a very naive perspective because it's like, you know what people like is to be trapped with each other all the time, every day with no escape. That's really going to breed an active sex life. Like, it's like, okay, the world is burning around us. Let's slow down a minute.
Also, I fully acknowledge the fact that like, if the quarantine didn't happen, I would probably be exactly where I am right now, just having not thought about it. And where it wasn't
maybe,
the thing, you know?
Maybe
it's just the context of everything going on, like makes me think of things, and like being home all the time, being segregated from other people, separated from other people, like puts me in poo brain, you know, like it puts you in that weird, like depressive cycle. So things like that come up. Like it reminds me how old Bender is all the time. And just thinking like, oh, you know, we're just being reminded of how old he is a real bummer, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And like, I would never really think about that before, but now that's something that creeps into my consciousness all the time. Like, just shit like that.
Wait until all your friends start dying. That's when being old is real fun.
Yeah.
When you're in the hellfish bonanza.
I was reading about the CDC guidelines, which I think I like mentioned. Maybe I talked about it with you guys, but they say now that, you know, if you have been vaccinated, you can spend time with people indoors who have not been vaccinated but are low risk, so they can't be high risk. And people who have been vaccinated without a mask, by the way, they're saying like it's fine. Like you could go to your friend's house.
So if you have been vaccinated, it's okay to hang out with people who have. And is that for all three vaccines?
If they're low risk.
If it's
somebody who's high risk, they don't recommend it still.
Yeah, because
if you got vaccinated and I didn't, and you and Elise were both vaccinated, and you guys were like, come over for dinner. Like, I mean, I know people do that anyways, but the CDC says like, that's okay now. And so like, that makes me feel better. So like one of my friends, she got vaccinated because she works in education. I went to her fucking house for dinner and it was like, it was so awesome. It was just such a good moment. I was like, yes.
So people outside your bubble, you're saying, like outside of the bubble that you had been maintaining all quarantine.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is still the thing too, right? Where like like the vaccination isn't a shield. You can theoretically still be a carrier of it, right?
They're saying I read a friend of mine is a nurse, and she was telling me yesterday that they're finding that that's maybe not actually the case. Where if you're vaccinated,
That's
you
why I
may
think
not be a
these are the new
spreader anymore.
guidelines.
Like
Okay.
you probably can't infect other people. But
We encourage everyone watching and listening to do their check. Like Lindsay obviously is citing the CDC and stuff like that, but like we should make sure
and I
before
feel like, you know, whatever, follow like the regulations, you know, so
before
whatever
you
they're
start
saying,
swiping
like,
right on
safe.
Omar, just make sure.
Well, and so what I was going to say is I was reading like the Reddit thread about that, and, you know, people were like, oh, I've been vaccinated. Who wants to make out, you know, and how there's going to be a vaccinated onlys, like dating app.
Yeah.
And it would be like Pfizer, but just with the R, like PFIZR, like Grinder.
Nice.
Like, oh, you can go on that app. I stole the joke from Reddit. But yeah, so like I wrote down questions to kind of ask like about how you guys are doing, how we are personally and emotionally, mentally, physically, how we're feeling about, you know, where we are with what we do for a living, this channel. So we kind of answered that. What is the biggest thing that you feel like has changed about you? I mean, Omar, you kind of mentioned that you think about things differently a little bit now. So that's sort of something I wrote down. It's like, what do you feel has changed for you personally and or professionally? Like, how do you like working from home? Are you ready to go back full time? Do you want it to be a mix? What do you feel?
Yeah, who goes first? Who's gonna go first? Me? Okay, I'm big, so I'm gonna go first. I feel like for me, the thing that changed is I think this is pretty common for a lot of people. Is like I used to didn't take advantage of situations when they came up because I didn't feel like a pressing need to do stuff all the time. Really took for granted a lot of like interactions with people, and I always just assumed like
social. You mean like social
like socially
situations.
and stuff. Like I would get invited to something and I'd be like, oh, whatever, I'm not gonna go do that. Like I'll go hang out with them some other time. But like a lot of that stuff has changed. My perspective has changed where it's like, no, dude, I need to make an effort on stuff like that. I used to just consider myself, oh, I'm introverted. Like I'd rather be home and do whatever. But like that's not really the case all the time. I think a lot of people realize they're not as introverted as they assumed they were, you know, during all this stuff. And I definitely in that camp. I do feel so I feel a new desire to be more active in that stuff with my friend groups and stuff like that. Do I like working from home? No, I really don't. I've kind of hated it the entire time. I feel really ineffective working from home. And I don't know why, because like I am doing a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I get a lot done. I get a lot done all the time.
I get the emails after 6 that I'm like,
well,
Omar,
I mean, that's a different conversation that is really annoying. But I think not being in the same room as people and seeing reading their responses to stuff makes me feel like I'm not doing the thing that everyone expected me to be doing. You know, like not getting that kind of like in the room body feedback from people.
Right.
Not just, you know, people can say
I totally
like
know
text,
what you mean.
Yeah, text is whatever, you know, but like, or even if we're on a call and we're talking and we're not showing cameras or whatever, like, cause I don't turn my camera all the time either, but like that kind of stuff. I've always really considered myself a pretty good reader of people. Like I worked as a lifeguard for 16 years at the beach, and that whole job is just understanding people's body language before stuff starts to go bad and reading the room basically. And I got really good at that, and you can't do that at all work from home. So it really makes me feel like I'm missing a whole like probably like 80% of my acknowledgement of my job performance or whatever is gone. What were some of the other things?
I totally agree. Oh, I mean, yeah, like, well, I mean, that's, I guess, do you like working from home? You kind of commented on what has changed for you personally. I totally can relate to that. I consider myself extremely extroverted. So this year has not been my favorite year, this last year. But I'm also a gamer. So like that is one way that I do socialize is like I play games with friends a lot. But yeah, I'm the kind of person that like I like to host people for dinner, and I like to go to the bar and like grab a drink, and I like to go to like events and event parties and like talk to people and meet people. So not having any of that like I thought about everything I did in like 2018, for example, or everything I did in 2019. And I'm like, I did so many things that I too, like I still took it for granted. Even though I did those things, I took it for granted that I got to do those things because the last year I haven't got to do any of it. Where I'm like, I took advantage of the fact that like I could see all those people at E3 and people who I only see once a year, you know,
Yeah, totally.
stuff like that. So for me, I definitely relate on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
The gaming
James,
thing,
you like working from home? Sorry, I mean, Omar, you can comment.
I was going to say the
thing.
gaming thing is weird because like that would be an outlet for me too. But I think because I sit in this spot for 9+ hours, the last thing I want to do is play games with people here. You know, like I really
no, that's part of it.
I hate this PC. I hate my fucking computer. I want to get away from it so bad. And the last thing I want to do is play games with people. There's all this fun stuff that everyone's doing. Like, you know, I see you guys playing Rust or Valheim and stuff on Discord servers, and I'm just like, I cannot sit in that chair for another couple hours, even if it's like fun time.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well, I mean, there's another thing to that too, which is just by the nature, I don't know what happened with the industry this year, but we've decided to collectively choose one game that is played, and that's the only game that's played. Like, and I know it's a lot of it is the circles we kind of run in because we know a lot of people who stream and are trying to capitalize on more popular things and stuff like that. But it is a weird situation too, because I like to play a bunch of stuff. I like to play like. That's why I'm not good at anything, but I'm like okay at everything. Is because I like play a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
James
like,
of all games.
Yeah, like that's what I did when I was a kid. I would like play one game for a little bit, then I'd pop in another cartridge, and I play another game for a little bit. I just keep going, and so the fact that like there are people that are like, I want to play games tonight. Who wants to play Among Us? And I'm like, like. I'm over Among Us. Like, I want to play a different game. Actually, it's been fun because Blaine, Omar, and I have been trying. We trying to play other games. We ended up playing Second Extinction like a fair amount, which is a game no one's talking about, but we're having a blast with it. I think we're the only 3 people who are like,
or in the world playing the game. Yeah.
Like, but we're like it, and it is that kind of stuff. Blaine and I have played like a Overwatch together, and even some like Left 4 Dead, and so like. It is about finding those. Sometimes it sucks because it's smaller groups, but when everyone's playing together, but like you find those smaller people and you go like, hey, let's just form a side group of like actually doing fun stuff. We played Gloomhaven that one time, and I want to do more of that with people that are interested. In terms of working from home, part of this coincides with, you know, in the last couple of years moving into more of like a management position, like where I'm pulled into meetings to discuss like higher level things, not just at Funhaus, but also in like company wide and beyond. And there's definitely, I've experienced both sides of it now. Because I was doing it for about a year before everything went crazy, and then been doing it since. And there is a lot of wasted time for those meetings if you go to an office to take them. It's like to go to an office and then have like those 5-10 minute gaps of time between these back-to-back meetings. I feel like that kind of stuff makes way more sense to do from the comfort of somewhere. We were talking before the show started, like most of the people that have that and that's their only job and don't have to do like production and stuff generally have a laptop or something, so they can like plop it down, hop into the meeting, do stuff, grab the laptop and go sit outside or whatever, their porch or something like that, do something different. Whereas I think because our work systems are these giant multi-monitored things and we aren't mobile all the time, we are strapped to it.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is a world where coming out of this, there could be a much more functional work-life balance. That being said, I've always fashioned myself a comedian more than a gamer, and certainly not a streamer. Like, I know I'm a bad streamer. And so the things that I think have really, like, people have been able to adapt easier given this time are those people who do streaming things and who stream because they're used to, like, just keeping it rolling and stuff like that. Whereas kind of how Omar feels about body language, that's how I do comedy. And when you add a 100 millisecond delay between interactivity,
Yeah.
and there's no feedback because the person, by the time you say something funny, the other person has already started their thoughts, so they don't even laugh at the thing you said. Or it's like there's a hiatus. It's like a ha ha ha. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
It doesn't keep the ball rolling. It's not a comedy show, and so
it's already happens right now because like there's several times in this podcast where I'm like, oh, they're done talking. Oh no, wait, there was just a lull, and they're continuing, and it's so tricky to navigate that.
I agree.
I think in the last year that we would have gotten better at this, but obviously
there is no. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any getting better. Yeah, there is no getting better. You can't predict
how it is. It's how the technology works.
Yeah, so that's something that's impossible. But I mean, even if they got latency down to 0, unless everyone's doing VR chat or something, like it still doesn't work. You're not in the same space with the person. You're talking through something that's in a lot of ways worse than a phone. Because you'll get, to complain about technology, I think the only reason we're able to keep doing what we're doing is because such a level of technology exists.
For sure.
But we'll compete with all kinds of stuff. Right now, we're recording audio locally while I have a camera pointed at me. I can see myself in 3 different places, right?
Yeah, me too.
I can see myself in 3 different places, and they are all moving at different rates. Okay, so the one that's on the camera is pretty in sync with the things that I'm doing, and and that's also not counting the goddamn hand that's in front of my face, right? Like, and so then I can also see the screen that I use to send a feed that everyone who's watching is seeing right now, and those are moving at 2 different rates, and then those things aren't matched up with my own audio. So when I say pop, that's when I see it. Like it's so it is a nightmare for being able to think fast and do stuff. But for people who monologue and people who don't have to work with others like in an active way, it's no change, right? So in terms of performance, I would much rather be performing with people physically in a space than doing it this way. So
well, you talked about just real quick, you asked about like how work is going this year. And that's one of the things that like all those people who are thriving right now, thriving in quarantine, are these like individual content creators, right? Individuals are doing great
not
because
me.
They're creating the content, they've got more time to do it. There's more people watching now because more people are in front of their computers like that all the time, and not in an office where they'll get seen by other people for watching something else on their second monitor. But like us, we're an ensemble, and it doesn't work the same way. And it's like it's a struggle. It's a bit of a struggle to make this work.
And it sucks, but I will also clarify that like it's a skill either way. I think some people like to come out and say like one is less impressive than others, but like I will sit here and I don't really watch streams, but like I will be like, oh, someone streamed for 12 hours. That's very impressive. Like you might as well have swam the English Channel, because that's how impressive.
Those like streams. I don't watch for 12 hours, but I watch people who do like the role play, the GTA RP. And those people stream for like 12, 15, like 18 hours. And it's not even like a thing where like, I'm streaming like, and here I go, count down the clock, 18 hours. It's like, that's their whole day. They live that life. I did the whole streaming thing like before, and I always say to myself, because I feel like it'd be good for like me personally, like just to have my face out there for what I want to do, right? Like, oh, I should stream. I'm like, I do not want to stream. And part of it is like sitting here and being like, I don't want to. I just want to enjoy myself if I'm going to play some games. And part of it is like, it's just like I don't have it in me this year to try to do that again.
Yeah. But it again, like that's not a diminishment of it, right? It's a crazy impressive feat, and it seems like it is self-defeating to try and say like, oh well, I wouldn't want to do that anyway. Like that's not how I feel. It's more of I can't. I would rather do the thing that I feel like I'm better at. The thing that I'm better at, and the thing that I think that I would have more fun doing. So it's very impressive the people that can.
This episode is like technically we're pre-recording, but because we're going to be recording in the office So we're trying it out, and we're going to be taking all the proper precautions. We have shot a few things, and those videos have gone up.
Yeah.
So that is something that I think is kind of exciting. It's exciting for me. I'm sure it's probably exciting for you guys.
I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm excited to see everybody interact that way again. I think it's going to be fun to be a bystander and witness it happen like it used to.
I think it'll be exciting for the audience who will get to make some really cool videos for.
And then who will absolutely be able to compare side by side the quality of content because it's not like we're going to come out of it with like 6 months. This is literally just a test. And I know people have said like, oh, why? Like we have already done things we've posted about how we have done things in the office. And it's very much a management of making sure people don't interact more than they have to. But even before anyone gets there, everyone has to be cleared to get in, and that includes not only testing beforehand, but also upon arrival, we have to do testing as well. And so, there's a world where we are pre-recording this. There's a world where I show up and I have like a 99-degree fever, and they say get out, and then we go, what about that podcast and all that stuff we said? But yeah, so. It's definitely stuff we've tried before, and it does feel like when you get back in the same room, there's some cobwebs, of course, but like it is a different energy for sure.
We're gonna talk about my Tupperware full of
bacon mold.
I don't know. It's been in there for a year. And it doesn't look good. I'll take a picture of it.
Listen, we have to firebomb that office for more reasons than one, but also Lindsay's
Lindsay's
bacon mold.
Been growing the next strain of the COVID vaccine or COVID virus in that Tupperware.
Yeah.
We need to just take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with. I have some more questions. I wrote down questions, and if there's anything that you're like, I don't want to talk about that, then we won't talk about it. But I want to know, so the viewers want to know. We'll be right back.
Okay.
This episode is sponsored by Stamps.com. Let's face it, with our work from home environment, taking trips to the post office probably isn't on the top of your psyched to-do list. Lately, I can't even remember what I need to get out of my front door, much less take a package somewhere to ship it. That's why I recommend Stamps.com. Stamps.com lets you mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Send letters, ship packages, you even pay a lot less with discounted rates from USPS, UPS, and more. Stamps.com has saved businesses thousands of hours and tons of money, plus big discounts on mailing and shipping rates. Stamps.com brings the services of the U.S. Postal Service and UPS right in one place, right on your computer. If you own a business, Stamps.com is a must-have that will make running the day-to-day so much easier. And who couldn't use that right now? Whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller shipping out orders, or even a giant warehouse sending out thousands of packages a day, Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop it off. It's that simple. You could use Stamps.com, send a letter to your grandma who you haven't seen in a year, or a quick care package to your sister because you're thinking about her. It's so easy. With Stamps.com, you get discounts of up to 40% off post office rates and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. Not to mention, Stamps.com is a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving you time and money. It's no wonder nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com. So stop wasting time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. Plus, with our promo code DUDE, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in DUDE. That's Stamps.com, promo code DUDE. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again. So I also had written down here, like, what has changed, like, on the channel. Obviously, it's pretty obvious. Obviously. I just said that 3 times. And we talked about what we like working from home. But here's my next question. What are you looking forward to? Not just like I'm looking forward to seeing people again, but like, maybe what kind of projects do you want to do? Like, what is, personally or together on the channel, what do we want to do?
For the channel specifically, or just as individuals.
I mean, both. We can touch on both. I think people definitely want to know about the channel.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
for the channel, I'll definitely say, once things are safe and we can all safely, get in there more regularly and do something. I think that Patrick and Charlotte are really great. Zach as well. They have this great energy, and they have already stood out in videos that they've been in under these conditions. And I'm excited to give them space, or at least see them have space to really do some great things. Because even I think when Inside Gaming was moving to work from home, they started doing wackier, wild things. And, but it was under the conditions of having to work from home, which we already know is not the true form. And so I am excited to see the kind of stuff the energy that they bring, because it's definitely a big possibility. And then also on the other side of that, just internally, just a look under the hood, we've been working more, we have a large team, and we've been trying to open up opportunities for more members of that team to say, to really step up and be I have an idea and I want to execute on that idea. And so I'm excited. We already have done some things that people have seen that have been fully executed by, Justin or Dan or Ryan, of course. And so I would love to see what they can come up with when they have access to the space. And it isn't just all right, what can you do that involves a webcam and maybe a green screen, So I think I'm most excited about space for new voices to kind of step in and really take advantage of the resources that we have that are all tied away in that office.
Yeah. So much possibility that exists in that space now, and more than when we left too, because we left in a time where there were still other teams using the space to do stuff, and now it's ours, and it's been sitting there hours for a year where we haven't really been able to do anything with it. And I want to see I think there's going to be lots of fun, dumb shit that just happens during the day because we're all in the same place again. And that specifically isn't going to happen soon. Yeah. Right. It's not this, who knows? It's probably not even this year that literally everybody will be back in the building. I don't think that's going to be a thing. And who knows if
this year?
I don't think this year. No, I just,
infrastructurally, I don't know how much sense it makes in a lot of ways too,
Yeah.
Well, for sure, I understand that.
Yeah.
Part of it of
it's
what is absolutely necessary.
Also, again,
what is ideal, I guess.
We're a department within a company within a company within a giant corporate structure, and so essentially that means that while you do get some benefits from having that security, you also have very stringent guidelines. And so the guidelines that we have for production are set by Warner Media, which is, which, and I don't think that they're going to make true distinctions between what we do and some of the other productions that they do. It's not going to be a fine, a scalpel going these are very specific to this. They're going to say, this is how production is going to work. And that's how we're going to work with that production.
So would you guys say that you don't think that those guidelines will be at all this year where they say, oh, everything's good, and if you're vaccinated, you can go to work? You don't think that's this year?
I don't think that's year. I think this year
I feel like everything's moving so much faster than expected starting at the beginning of this year.
It is, but I think it's about squashing it out, right? If there's an oil fire, you can't just get some of it. You have to squash it out. I have heard from people, again, what does that even mean? But I have heard from people that were unlikely to see things fully packed stand-up comedy shows or bands really going on tour until September. And so if you're thinking about those huge money-making ventures starting back up again, I think there's going to be, to be completely frank, I think there's going to be a cost assessment of everything. And they're going to say, how much money do we actually save by not sending non-essential in-office employees to an office. I think somewhere out there in the dark are a bunch of accountants crunching those numbers,
Sure.
which is going to affect things. But I also think that like when you think about actual people milling about together and doing all these things with like no concern truly, then, we're looking towards the end of the year. But
Yeah, because like vaccines and stuff, like they say they're saying like by the end of summer, there will be enough vaccines out there for everybody, but it's still distribution that's the issue, and making sure that people are not being stupid and actually going and getting vaccinated. I feel comfortable saying that people who are not going to get vaccinated, that's like you're not thinking in the right headspace there. But like after that happens, even after they say like, okay, they can verify somehow that every single person in the company has been vaccinated, they're still like, well, let's see what happens. Like let's see, like let's make sure that there isn't some kind of like weird side virus thing that happens, like it doesn't mutate in a way where the vaccine is no longer as effective or whatever. Like there's going to be fear preventing a full turn back on. So after vaccination, you have at least 4 months, maybe 6 months of let's just see how this goes and see how the world turns out after vaccines are a thing. And then we can be like, okay, now we're going to come back and start using the building again.
Do you feel like in your personal lives, like you would take more risks after you've been vaccinated? Like you're not going back to work because we're following guidelines and we're trying to be safe, but like do you feel like you'll probably return more to normal
Like-
in your personal and like social lives? More
Like would I go to the movies or
way-
a concert or something?
go to
after?
the movies, go to dinner with friends, like
I think so.
maybe even go on a vacation, like,
I mean, I think I've never been worried about myself for this whole thing because I am probably as
Sure.
low risk as low risk can be for this. It's more about like the person that I don't know who is a relative of someone that is a roommate of someone I do or whatever. And so I do think that even if I got the vaccine today, it's certainly not an all bets are off because I think that
Right.
regardless, and I know that's not what either of you were saying, but like I do think that for me mentally, it's gonna be like getting into a hot tub, like the slow,
I was thinking the
slippery
exact same thing.
Getting to a hot tub.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated. Lindsay, Omar, you guys are both vaccinated. You're not going to be seeing your parents anytime soon or whatever. Like it's still like these checks are in place. Like, okay, let's get together and like have dinner. I
well,
have a
my parents are going to
thermometer
be
at home.
vaccinated before I am.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
My parents are already
all the-
vaccinated. My parents and
That's
my
great.
sister, my immediate family, all taken
Oh.
care of already.
My
That's
dad
good.
just got his first one, actually, now that I think about it. I think he got it on Monday. So, and even people my age, like I said, my friend got vaccinated. She works in education. She got her vaccination. So there's that thing, right? Like, I'm not saying like everybody just jump off the deep
No,
end
yeah,
and
yeah.
let's go
But-
party. But like,
but
we're
I-
all vaccinated. We're wearing masks. Are we going to Vegas in the summer? That's one.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to. But I do think that's a situation when you add strangers into the mix, especially at like a travel hub like Vegas is like such a questionable thing. Like if it was like us and we're like, hey, let's get dinner and then go see a movie. Like, oh, that sounds
yeah.
nice. But I don't know if I would be like, I'm going to the midnight opening screening of Dune or whatever, and I'm going to just be in a packed theater because I don't know how comfortable I feel with that. Again, not for myself, but because I don't want, after all this, the last thing I want is to feel like I have contributed truly negatively to this whole thing.
Yeah,
in some way.
I think I'm probably just a little bit less hesitant than that. I feel like if I'm vaccinated and the people that I know that I'm going to be interacting with in a regular are in that group of people who have been vaccinated as well, I think I'm okay to like go to the movies or go to a concert or something. Like I think that's okay as long as I know that I'm going to go somewhere. And then the next person I see, I'm not risking something on their end, like you're saying, James. Like I'm not worried about me as much as like the my friend's mom or whatever. But as long as I know that the people that I'm going to be interacting with on the regular, outside of going to those events, are all safe and vaccinated and stuff, I think I'm okay. I think I'm ready to do it. Like I really miss concerts.
For example,
Like, I really miss
example,
concerts.
I check out like the coronavirus subreddit like every day. I always look up the daily cases. I'm one of those people. I don't obsess about it, but I do look at it every day because I want to know, like, is there something new? Is there a new report? And so I follow it. And, you know, like, for example, Pfizer and BioNTech say COVID-19 vaccine likely to prevent asymptomatic infection. So that means that you can't even really be a carrier for it. You can be vaccinated and you won't carry it and transmit it to other people. And so that for me, if James is here and like Omar is here, then I'm like probably here where I'm like, I'm vaccinated. I know I'm at the bottom of the list of like priority of people getting vaccinated because of my age. I mean, the only people younger than me or lower are, you know, in their 20s. And as soon as it's available to me, I know it will be available to everybody. And at that point, if you have not been vaccinated, I'm sorry.
Well,
what are you doing?
There is because it's only approved for people over 17, right?
Right.
16 or 17.
If it's
so there is
available
still,
to you,
there is still
and you
like
haven't.
a large group
but
of.
I'm not hanging out with 16-year-olds, you know. Like,
I know you aren't.
like,
yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
So
I think
that's sort of how I feel about it a little bit.
It's definitely a mental concern. You know, we talked about things that, you know, good things that we may have learned from all of this, and it's, you know, like Omar was saying, those times you say no because there's always going to be another time. Maybe you say yes to. I'm excited to do those things, but I think it's definitely a social pull more than it is. Like I was never the kind of person who went out to bars and got drunk and like, you know, like did that kind of stuff on weekends anyway. And I probably won't be once this is over. But I would like to have like more frequent board game nights or like set things, kind of like what I've been doing with this is like setting time on a calendar and knowing that like Wednesday night is hangout night and like, you know, stuff like more, even if it's not every Wednesday. And then also another thing is like, I've been a lot better at like, I'm just going to text this person, just text to see how they're doing, you know, just out of the blue, you know, just shoot them a text. How you doing? I haven't spoken to this person in a while. Maybe it's someone from back home in North Carolina or whatever, someone I used to work with. And so try and maintain those habits coming out of this too.
I'm the person who looks at my phone and I see the random text from a person I haven't, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's me. That's my text.
I'm just kidding.
Is it weird though that
kidding.
you count yourself like super extroverted and like interacting with people like that is such a high priority, but like text and stuff is a annoyance?
It's not an annoyance. It's like, it's frustrating because like I wish I could just get together with that person because I feel so cheated by text messages. I feel cheated of like the value that I'd normally get from a social interaction. If texting is for like quick, like, hey, what time, where, or here's an update. But it's not like, texting is not, hey, how are you? Like, oh my God, let me tell you this story. That I don't like that. That's not for me. I'd rather just call you on the phone, you know?
Did you guys have
you
more
know.
of those kind of things start up because of quarantine? Like as an example, you never talk to your parents, but because of quarantine, you now have a weekly Google Hangout with your parents. Do you guys have anything like that?
It's like that with my sister. It's not weekly, but we talked like so much, like, you know, and it's not like we ever had like not a good relationship, but just the amount of like communication I've had with her has grown like exponentially, and I'm super grateful for that. And I hope that like afterwards, you know, I do talk to her more, you know, because she has 2 kids, and so I FaceTime to see my niece and nephew, and that. I'm grateful for that. My mom calls me less, and I'm like, hello, what are you doing? Are you busy? I mean, she is. They're building a house. It's a whole thing, but.
Dude, that sounds cool. I have a couple of those things. Like, I never felt like I was not talking to these people, but I definitely was only talking to them maybe like every couple months or something. There would be an interaction. But now there's like a semi-regular, let's sit down and talk for 20 minutes or whatever. And it's awesome, but it's so weird. Like, just like I was saying before, how I would probably be in the exact same place I am right now had nothing happened, but now the perspective is shifted, right? Where it's like, I'm not able to go see you. I would never have done that anyway, but I'm not able to go see you. So let's get this thing on the books. We're going to talk every week for 20 minutes on Google Hangouts or whatever. It's just really funny to me. I don't know. There's stuff like that is like, it's weird how your brain works, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my parents, we've always kind of had a regular, it's once a week or like once every other week, we'll like jump on and like video chat with each other. As soon as they learned video chatting and what that was and how that worked, that's kind of just became a thing that we would do. So that really hasn't changed all that much. I'd say we just like maintained that. But Elise and I both essentially have like a weekly standing appointment where we get together with Jack from Achievement Hunter and his wife Katie. We get together with them, and then some friends that they introduced us to, who are now our friends, who we've never met before.
Awesome.
And basically just like hang out. It started as a game night, and but like I would say maybe once every 3 weeks we play a game. It just is like, it's like everyone hop on and like put your video on and let's just like hang out for like a little while and talk about the week and like what's going on and how everybody's doing. And like I'll play a game and like they'll play a game sometime. Like with Nerds, like Elise would be like, get a Nerds game going. I was like, I'm not going to play Nerds, but I'm still here. I'm playing a different game and I'm still communicating. We're still like doing a thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that started probably pretty early on. Like I want to say like maybe April or something, as early as April of last year. And we do it pretty much every week. Like so much so that if we are going to miss a week for whatever reason, we're like, hey, just so you know, we're not going to be there this week. So, and that's pretty great. And of course now it's at the point where we're all like, what are we going to do when this is over? Not that we're going to stop doing this thing, but like, I guess we have to find a way to hang out together. Like we're all from we're all from different places, like, and it's just so it kind of worked out that it's like, I guess we have to make a trip together. But I'm like, I don't know how tall any of you are. Like,
I don't know how tall you are.
It is one of those weird things though, where you don't realize it. You just see someone like this, and then and you don't. Like, wait a minute, you're 5'2". But but that's something I'm super grateful for, and it's been great, and it wouldn't have happened otherwise. I wish it didn't happen under these circumstances, but I do think kind of reminds you what you need as a human being, whether or not you admit it to yourself.
Yeah, the remote stuff is weird, and like it goes back to the work stuff too. Like work is completely different now that we discovered that we could do this over the internet, even though that like we could have been doing this for the last 5 years if we wanted to. It's just you've been forced into a thing, and now it's like, oh shit, that we can have fun and make content and do whatever we want with people from all over the world. And is that going to go away when we go back to the office? I mean, it can't. Like we can't go back.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think that is something that is like super cool. And I talk about that all the time. How we've been doing an entire series like with Chilled, and it's been so fun, and I love that we could do that. And I'm like, how do we just do that with more people?
Especially for work. Like I think that's something that I would hope that Funhaus would never give up, which is like, it used to be such a, if you're not in the room, like it's not worth playing in a lot of ways. That's kind of how it felt for a really long time. And I think we missed huge opportunities to work with really great people and make stuff with great people, partly because the technology wasn't as simple as it is now. Like, things that we use like Parsec and like Discord, like didn't exist, at least in the form that we use them in an everyday way, like when we were doing it, when we started it. But like, there could have been a time where we could have reached out, and it didn't have to be you are a person living in Los Angeles that can come drive down and do it to like make it worth our while. Like, guests on the podcast has been a blast. Guests in our content has, for me, like at least personally, reinvigorated me in a lot of ways. Getting to work with these people and like build these relationships and share perspectives that we can't as the sole employees of this group, like we don't necessarily have access to all the best perspectives. And so being able to reach out to people that are different and cooler in a lot of ways than we are and have them in our content, I hope that doesn't stop. If that if things
I
don't,
mean,
if it doesn't have to be
the
that
owners
case
of
here.
our destiny for that stuff. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, it doesn't. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It. You know, we have even if like the four of us, right, or the three of us. I looked at three and counted myself. Even if like the three of us are in the office doing this show, but we wanted somebody remote, like we still do it that way. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a little bit more.
I get you.
It's going to be harder, and it's going to be there's going to be some growing pains to find out how to like integrate it into in-person stuff. But like, we can't not, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I just want to take one more quick break to hear another word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back talking about, you know, what we want to do and how we want to live.
First
How
restaurant
the
we're going to
best.
eat at once it's all said and done.
Over the years, we've all gotten ripped off by big wireless providers and had contracts with so much fine print, you couldn't even read it. And if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when we first heard about Mint Mobile's premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, we thought, what's the catch? But after using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile is the first company to sell wireless service online only. That is their secret sauce. Mint Mobile cuts out retail stores, so there's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you as like mystery fees. Instead, Mint Mobile passes on those oh-so-sweet savings direct to you. One of our coworkers had Mint Mobile. He switched from his previous wireless provider, and he ended up saving like so much money every month, and he was super stoked on it. For people just looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/dude. That's mintmobile.com/dude. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/dude.
This episode of the Funhaus podcast is brought to you by Keeps. Did you know that more than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness? There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss, but the good news is that you can get both of them in one place at Keeps. Keeps is a simple and stress-free way to keep your hair. They offer convenient online doctor consultations. They even deliver your medication straight to your door every 3 months, so you don't have to think about it or keep track of anything. It's there when you need it in low-profile packaging, so no one has to know. Treatment is low cost. It offers generics and treatments that start at $10 a month. And remember, prevention is the key. So treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months to see results. So don't waste more time than you need to if you think this is something that's right for you. And if you're not sure, I'm going to encourage you to talk to your doctor about it because they will know best what works for you. If you decide you want to take action, and keeps those luscious locks, go to keeps.com/dude soup to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/dude soup to get your first month free. One more time, keeps.com/dude soup.
So what do you guys want to do?
What's
I
that?
want to go to concerts. I don't know about like work stuff, whatever.
wanna go
I
to
want to go to concerts.
I wrote down
really
here
miss going to
2021
shows.
goals. Like, what is one
2021
goal that
goals.
you have? You know, coming out of this, you're still living half, like 1 foot in, 1 foot testing the water, right? What do you want to do?
I was very lucky to be like able to do stand-up comedy at RTX and then in a couple of other places, thanks to Kind of Funny's Nick Scarpino. And when that happened, I was like, wow, I really kind of loved this. And it sucks because I was literally like, I was talking about it with Elise around January, February of last year. I made a list and I like showed it to her. I was like, found a website and I was like, I found a bunch of really good open mics in and around LA, and I think that these would be good nights for me to go and try and do that. So I think I'm gonna. We're still busy with work, so and it is one of those things where you have to like still take on in the evening. But I was like, I think this will be a good time to go do that. right as everything went to shit. And it was like only a couple weeks later, it was like everything's closed. And I was like, that was a completely shut off aspect. But you know, I don't know how many of those clubs even still exist.
Yeah.
But I do whatever is left. I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off and really try and do some more. I like doing live comedy. I like doing live performances and stuff. And so I'm going to try and dig back into that. Probably in LA. So
I like how yours is doer stuff and mine is be a like an audience member of stuff. Like I just want to see these bands and stuff that I either, you know, don't come to LA that often, or like the last time they came, I was just like, I'll catch them on the next one. And now they're not a band anymore because none of them could have survived the last year had they still been trying to make music. Doing that stuff. I do want to do more. I want to be more present in my life. I think that's the one thing that I'm taking away from all this is I can't just be like I can't let it pass by as often as I was. So I'm going to do that. Go outside with Bender more.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Yeah. No, those are, I totally feel you. Be more present like that. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I look at people who this past year took advantage of, you know, the shitty situation and like really got healthy and got into shape. And I like kind of kick myself because I'm like, why did I could have. But also like I don't beat myself up too hard because it was really hard just to like get up and be like, oh, I should eat something and I should make coffee. So one of my goals is to take care of myself. Like, get it together. Put it back together, Lindsay. You can quit falling apart. Put it back together.
Let me say this much. I went into 2020 as a fitness lover. It like a non-questionable aspect of myself and my daily routine. It's the kind of thing where if I'm going on vacation, I look at pictures of the gym, right? Like of the hotel to determine how I'm going to do that. Anytime we had to go to Austin, I would find a gym that I could like either get a visitor's pass for. Like it's an aspect and a non-compromising aspect of my life. And the work from home situation almost broke me of it. It almost broke me of it. And I mean, I maintained it. I busted my ass and kept working out, but I didn't enjoy it the same way. So to cut yourself some slack, I mean, there's one side of the coin, which is if you had started something like that and you had busted your ass, and I did all this fitness stuff and everything like that, you would have come out of it and then everything else would have been easy. It's like learning to play on a really old shitty acoustic guitar and then switching to electric and being like, oh my God, like a $1,200 electric guitar. That's a weird metaphor, but for guitar players probably understand. But I think that like you would have been like, it would have been easy. But that being said, it would have been 1,000 times harder to get yourself into that routine because of how monotonous and boring and just how much it called upon you really dragging yourself, like you were saying, like to do it. So, but you can always set that finish line. And then then you know that it's like going to be easier. Like it's going to be easier to get into it later on and you can do it on your schedule and we'll have hopefully like fitness classes again. And like, I want to go to a yoga class really bad, like a lot of stuff again, that'll be easier.
That is the thing. It's like when I have been into like health and fitness in the past, like, because I've had my stints where I'm like, I'm going to the gym, I'm logging my workouts, I'm doing this, and where it works for me. And it's not just about like losing weight or like being like, cool, now I'm fit into this size. For me, it was like, oh, I don't notice my back pain anymore. Oh, I don't have chronic heartburn. Like, I don't feel like stepping and I'm like, bong, bong.
My poops are solid.
Yeah, it's
like these things.
They're so, and like that's a huge motivation for me to do it is so I can just like feel good.
Yeah.
And like I remember times where I might have like skipped the gym for a while and I go back and I've been like frustrated. And on my way home from the gym, I would just cry in my car because I would be like, oh, like it's just that release of I haven't been taking care of myself. And I go and do that, the endorphins hit, and then I'm crying in the car on the way home. So it's like that is 100% one of my goals for this year.
Mental health is a vicious circle with that stuff. You know, like
Yep.
like you're like doing it makes you happier and it makes you want to do it more. But we're been trapped in your home and like you're saying like you're having a really hard time mentally because you're not being able to interact with people and stuff. Like all of that is putting stop signs in front of you doing all the things that you want to do. Even if you could like work out in your house or go for walks and stuff, you just don't want to because mentally you're just like,
right,
I'm
because
fatigued.
I can do all those things.
Yeah,
but exactly, and I'm just like that sounds like awful. I say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then I wake up and I'm like, well, I still have all the time. Nothing's changing yet, so I'll do it tomorrow. And then turns out in 3 days or, in a week, oh, we're all going to get together and shoot something. And I'm like, I feel like shit. I feel so gross and awful all the time. And by the time I was around people and interacting with people face to face again, I want to feel good. I want to feel happy and like, oh, I'm excited and I have all the energy because I take care of myself. And instead I'm like, well, I kept saying I was going to do it. And then I don't know. I was just tired,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, mental fatigue is real hard. It's real hard to deal with. Like I try to live my life, with that PMA. It's a struggle. This last year has been a real struggle. But sorry. Yeah, I think getting back into a routine with stuff, not just like going and doing things and being around people, but getting back into a more rhythmic routine is really going to help with that stuff.
Yeah,
not just being so like nothing matters and
if there was ever
when anything gets done.
Putting on pants.
Yeah. I've been wearing jeans. Because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I've been wearing jeans.
You had to get out of your chair, and I noticed you were wearing jeans. Like, man, James is real put together.
So caveat, because again, building on what both of you guys are saying, if there's ever a time to cut yourself some slack, it has been.
Yes.
It has been this time. But I'm sliding back into, I'm trying to prepare myself for a functional exit of this hiatus in life. And so I am wearing jeans, but they are jeans with the most massive hole in the crotch you've ever seen. I can look down and see my dick.
I'm glad that we can.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I can do that. And it was a pair of jeans that around the same time I was like January, February or whatever. I was like, I think my time is up on these jeans. I love this pair of jeans, but I think their days are numbered. And then quarantine happened, and I was like, you got another year, or like so like
the pants got a new life.
These are the jeans that are going to bring me back out of this, and then it's time, and then I will symbolically say goodbye to these jeans that I love so much, and wear jeans that are not going to get me kicked out of a children's playground.
Yeah. We did that production a couple weeks ago, and I put jeans on for the first time. It seemed like a year almost. Like it was real close to being a full year had I not worn these pants. They were just sitting in the closet, and they still fit. And I was like, nice. I felt it was like a nice like.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win.
I did it.
That's a win. A draw is a win in the last year. A draw is a win.
Yeah, I only wear leggings now. But I did get a bunch of new leggings, and a lot of them are gym leggings. So I'm like preparing myself.
Preparing,
like, cool.
Let me tell you this. I want to open a gym. Maybe I'll open a gym. You guys just come on. You guys come on over and. I'm
going to the gym.
Yeah, go to the gym.
Going to James' gym.
JIM. So.
Jim's gym.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, those are goals. Those are my goals. You guys got goals. We got goals.
Everybody's got goals.
One of the things I was talking about, you guys, I gotta say I love working for this channel. This is just me putting this out there real quick. I love working for this team because so many times I get asked like, well, what do you want to do? Like if you could do anything, and I always am like, I don't know. We're just gonna play some Sims 4. Okay, but I was like, what would be so cool to do one day? I want to do. This can't happen until maybe next year. whether it's like with you guys, if you guys want to do it, I'm down. I want to do like Ren Fair Across America tour.
Ooh.
I want to go and pick like 5 or 10 of like the best Ren fairs. It's all throughout the different times of year too. So you have to like pick a weekend and go do it, and like rate them and do the top 10 best Ren fairs in America. And I want to make content.
I'm not sure that I'll be able to distinguish difference. So I should be there as I don't know what the difference between this last one is. Are those the same leather wristlets that I saw in the other one?
There could be categories like best rides, who has the best turkey leg, you know.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably go all of them very tendony. You know, a lot of them very tendony. I want to be the person there. I just want to be there to just. My pure assessment is how much steampunk is present at the Ren Fair.
How many people are wearing Star Trek uniforms and they're there as their away team in the Ren Fair century?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, things that are not inherently Ren Fair, I want to be the person who does the judging on those.
Yeah. When I was thinking about like what would be a dream like kind of project to work on, it would be like going to all the Ren fairs. Hell yeah, that's what I want to do.
Bringing back RT Docs, and we're doing a Ren Fair tour. Endless Summer, but Ren Fairs. What's the title of that?
Ren Renaissance. Ren Fair Renaissance. Ren Fair Renaissance. I don't know. It's working title.
Yeah, work in progress.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for catching up with me. I'm so excited to put this video on the channel and call it "What Just Happened at Funhaus" or "What Happens Next at Funhaus." Clickbaited the shit out of y'all.
For Funhaus? Yeah.
What's next for Funhaus? Yeah. But thanks guys for hanging out and chatting, shooting the shit.
No,
This was
thank
nice.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks, Nick, for being a great TD as always. Okay, we will see you next week.
Who knows where we'll be next week?
Clickbait.
Bye, everybody.